The survey conducted by InfoChoice on July 2024 estimates that more than 40% of Aussies have absolutely nothing invested outside of property and super. And it kind of shows, maybe because most people are quite scared when it comes to investing, especially as a beginner. When you look at all of these charts, when you really start, especially if you are starting out, it could be quite daunting. You don't know where to start, where to invest, and what to invest in. And this is where this quick video is going to show you. We are going to be investing into exchange traded funds. So ETFs in short. ETFs are very easy to buy and sell. What ETFs are a group of assets piled into one group, where if you buy this ETF, you buy the lot. ETFs can be based on anything. It could be banks, it could be technology, it could be countries, regions, and this is what we're going to quickly explore in this video. Going and buying one by one, think of a platter where instead of buying all of these items here on the screen one by one, you just simply buy a platter and you will have all of these. That's what ETFs are, to make it simpler to understand. Now, for example, if you do a Google search, you want to invest into, let's say, all the banks, and you don't want to invest in them one by one, Commonwealth, Westpac, that sort of thing. You will Google Australian Bank ETF, and then there'll be numerous ones. So over here you can see the VANIC Australia MVB Australian Banks ETF. Now what is this exactly? When you look at this picture, MVB is the code. So if you want to purchase this ETF, you can generally search this code on your trading platform. And VANIC is a company that offers this ETF. And what is this ETF? The Australian Banks ETF. Inside this ETF is all the major Australian banks such as NAB, Commonwealth, Westpac, ANZ, and the other three, which are the smaller banks. So if you buy MVB code ETF, you're buying into all of these shares for the banks. So in this platter or fruit basket, put it simpler, are all of these banks. I know I'm sounding repetitive, but this is what ETFs are. Another example, Australian top 200 companies ETFs. More than one company can offer the same sort of ETF. There's different companies like beta shares, iShares, really mostly the same thing. One doesn't really change from the other too much. The top 200 companies in Australia are ranked by market cap. For example, the top 8 in Australia are Commonwealth, BHP, CSL, Australian NAB Bank, Westpac. The top 500 companies in America ETFs, for example, are SPY, code IVVVOO, that sort of thing. Now that we know we're going to invest into ETFs, where can we invest them? Do we use the Commonwealth Pumpsec Pocket app? We use Westpac, ANZ, or other traditional platforms, or do we use micro-investing platforms such as Raiz? And personally, I use Raiz as it's much more simpler and automated. Now, reading all of this, Raiz and other micro-investing platforms makes it much more easier to invest. The user-friendly interface, the minimum investment amount. For example, other platforms will require you to invest $200, $300, maybe $500 at a time, whereas these platforms you can invest with as little as $1, automated, and it generally has lower fees. So with Raiz, you can search for Raiz on raizinvest.com.au online, or you can also use your mobile phone. It's very easy either way, whichever one you're more comfortable with. You go ahead, you make your account, put your details in, that sort of thing. Now this is just a comparison of the fees. For example, a Raiz account will be $5.50 a month for accounts under 25,000, whereas other brokerage platforms to the right would have $5 fee per trade. So as you can see, it's much more higher. When you look at Raiz from your mobile phone, you can see number one, which is invest, which is the amount you have invested. And if you click on there, you can actually set up your investment details. Rewards is from cashbacks and surveys and that sort of thing. And if you do have your super with Raiz, if you switch it over, you can see your super balance in there as well. Now, when we click on invest, there'll be the roundups feature. This feature actually rounds up. There'll be your recurring investment account, which a good place to start is $50 weekly. And then with Raiz, you do not have to go and purchase one by one. You set your weekly amount, and then once they're invested, they automatically purchase all of the things that you want to invest into anyway. So it's very automated. Obviously, you will have to select your portfolio. There's ready-made portfolios by Raiz, but I'm going to give you my custom-made portfolio so you can actually invest into that one if you like. Just to quickly show you the roundups page, what this does is every purchase you make from your credit card, whether you're buying a coffee for $4.50, it will round up to the nearest dollar, and when it reaches the threshold of $10, it'll invest it into your Raiz account. That's doesn't have to be close to $1. So if it's $3.20, it'll round up to $4. So 80 cents will be invested into your Raiz account. Now, when it comes to portfolio selection, it has quite a bit of options, but I don't use these. The reason being is this. My investment strategy is I don't want to invest into countries or regions that are prone to civil war or wars now or in the future, such as the Middle East. I want to be investing into more stable regions. Countries that are prone to exploitation and corruption. I also don't want to invest into these, as it might be going well today, but you never know what can happen tomorrow, whether it's outside influence or politics within the country. And then I don't want to invest into regions such as South America that have corruption and don't really have proper long-term economies. Where I like to invest is places like Europe, innovation, technology, the strongest economies, more growth for the long term and more stable in the long term. And then the United States of America, which has a very big stock market, which is going to have a big portion of our portfolio in the United States, as the biggest companies in the world are from the United States of America. A portion of our portfolio will be in Asia, although there are small little conflicts, but still Asia as a whole is not really that prone to war. Obviously things can change in the future. And then lastly, another big portion of our portfolio, since we live in Australia, is going to be in Australian shares. So looking at these, the codes of our investments will be STW, top 200 companies in Australia, IEU, iShares Europe ETF, IAA, which is the Asia Top 50 ETF, IVV, which is the American Top 500 Companies ETF. We'll also be investing into 5% of our portfolio into Bitcoin as a high risk, high reward play. And we will be investing a very small 1% portion into a Japan ETF. Now, when you click on invest, and then you're going to click on your portfolio, and then on the top, you're going to click on plus. This is where you can actually create your own portfolio and select your ETFs. And down the bottom, you'll click on ETFs, and then you're going to put 1.5% into HJPN, which is a Japan ETF. You're going to be putting 40% into STW, which is our Australian Top 200 ETF, 5% into Asia, IAA, 5% into Europe, IEU, and then 43.5% into IVV, and of course 5% into Bitcoin. How you're going to do that is you go into the Explore tab, you write in the code, as you can see on the right at the top of right, STW, and then you'll put in your ETF. And of course you'll need to do that for the other ETFs as well, Europe, Asia, and America. You do not have to invest into Bitcoin. You can allocate that 5% into the other ETFs. It should all be done based on your own strategy. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in our upcoming videos.